talk about another principle of graphic design in addition to contrast, which I already discussed in the previous video. This time we are going to talk about the principle of movement, or how you control the eye flows in the work that you are doing. Ano ba ang eye flow? Ano ba ang sinasabi nilang eye flow? Simple lang yun. Saan unang titingin yung prospect viewers or readers mo? Saan sila susunod na titingin? And how do you lead them on? Okay. For example, sa article na ito, or in this spread siya kasi. In this spread, you could clearly see na the designer of this spread would like you to look at the photos first. Okay? Look at the photos. Look at the text at the title here. And you start reading from here until here. So, yun yung flow niya ng spread na, yun yung flow ng spread na ito. Yun yung eye flow niya. Okay. Mas prominent ang pag-apply ng eye flow or principle of movement sa mga infographics, especially those infographics that are showing some sort of process. When you are designing, always take into consideration the comfort of your prospective audience or readers or viewers. Kasi as graphic designers, you would not only be designing printed materials, chances are you would also be designing materials for the web or moving materials like animations and everything. That's why I keep saying prospective readers or viewers or audiences. Ay yung sinasabi ko na always take into consideration their comfort. Wag naman na pag nagde-design ka ng spread, wag yung masyadong cluttery, like yung pinaka-importante na element mo nandito, tapos yung susunod na pinaka-importante na gusto mong basahin nila ay nandito sa baba. For example, so dito yung title mo, tapos yung parang pinaka-importanteng gusto mong i-emphasize na information nandito, tapos babalik na naman sila dito, ganun. So it is not conducive and it is not efficient to do that. It will only form some sort of clutter. So I'm going to try and look for some bad layout or bad designs na hindi na-apply yung principle of movement ng maayos, so that you have some sort of idea on what I'm talking about.
This is an example that I promised a while ago of how you could do badly with applying the principle of movement. It is not totally a bad design, but you see there's so much going on in one image. There's so many things going on that you don't know where you should go first. Of course, there's the number there that says 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but it's really too cluttery. Still, we could not say this is a very, very bad design. It's just that it has many ways to it has a big room for improvement. One example of applying the principle of movement is when you are showing a process. And one example that I saw, which is very nice, is this. But I think this is for architects, Chicago Architecture Center. But then you could clearly see the movement. This is the title is in the middle. There's an arrow showing you where you begin at step 1, where you define the problem, step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then begin again. I hope you could see the difference between a bad application of the principle of movement and a good application of the principle of movement.
Okay. After this, I am going to show you how to create a document, create a new document, and how to import pictures and text with Adobe InDesign.
We are now in our Adobe InDesign welcome window, as I would prefer to call it. So once you open Adobe InDesign, you will be greeted with this window. First thing you do if you are going to create a document and if you're trying to familiarize yourself with it, you just go to create. After you click create new, this pop-up window should appear. Okay, first you are going to set the size of your document or of your publication, and you set whether you set the orientation, you set whether they'd be facing pages or not. You also set the number of pages here. Adobe InDesign has document presets, meaning the size, the settings have already been preset, and if you like them, you could just click on them. Like if you want an A4 size document, then you could just click on A4. If you are designing for print, you can choose the sizes here. You can choose for US business card, for legal half letter. You can also choose preset sizes for the web if you are designing for the internet, for things that will be up in the internet, and for things that will be viewed on cell phones or on smartphones or mobile. Although this one's got some bias towards iPhone and Kindle. So for now, let's say I am designing for print, and the size is letter or in inches. If you want to set the unit of measurement, you have just click this arrow here, and I am most comfortable with inches, so I'll choose inch. So I choose 8.5 inches by 11 inches. In portrait orientation, only one page, letter size. Okay. Margins, that's we all know the margin. That is the space around the page. So now we're all set. I will and you can also change the file name already. You can set the file name. So here I'll just then I'll click create. So now we have our new document in InDesign. When you set your unit of measurement to inches, the rulers up here will automatically be set in inches. Okay. To zoom in your document, you use Control+. Okay. To zoom out, Control-. Next, how do you set the columns? Sometimes there's this thing that they call works all the time layout, is when you set columns to your work. Okay, so I would like to have a 3-column layout for design here, and I would like I really prefer, considering the element of space or white space or negative space, I really prefer wide gutters. Okay. Gutters are the spaces between your columns here. Now, how do you import your picture? How do you bring your picture into your design? The long cut is you go to File and then click on Place, and then you go to your file to your directory, and then you choose the file you want to import, and then you click open. So it looks large, right? You don't want that on your spread, so I want to make it smaller. What I'll do is to click the free transform tool. Select the object first. Yeah, whatever comes first. Enlarge or compress any photos so that you will not distort the proportion. Always use this corner box here. Pull from this corner box here. And then when you do that, you also press shift while doing so. See? The proportions are not disturbed. No matter how you move it. When you press the shift while pulling up and down. What happens when a photo goes out of proportion? It's ugly. Now, we've resized the picture, the photo, as I see fit. Now, what if you wanna crop a photo? If you want to crop the photo, you select the photo and then unselect the free transform tool. So, kanina naka-free transform tool siya, diba? Naka-click siyang ganun. Ngayon, gusto mo naman siyang i-crop, you unselect the free transform tool. So, punta ka muna dito. Yun, so, wala na, okay na. When you crop, you just simply get on any of the bounding box of the corner that you want to crop and then pull down. Yeah, pull down, pull up. There. But for me, I want this to stay like that. Next, you want a title. Next, you want to insert text. So you just click on the text icon there, type tool, and then you draw a square, drag it like that, and then bitawan mo siya, and then type. There. So it's like a normal Microsoft Word application, don't you think? It's quite simple. And for me, I think it's simple and very flexible. Once you are familiar with it. Okay, so that I'll adjust the size. This is quite the hardest sometimes, choosing a font style. And then insert another text there. So how do you export a text from how do you import text from Microsoft Word or anywhere into Adobe InDesign? So first, you prepare where it would land, because you could directly copy the text from Microsoft Word and paste it here like this. Here. Copy, and then you go to InDesign and then paste. You could do that, But you could also import the whole Microsoft Word itself. So File, Import, where is it? Place pala. File, Place, and then select the file, select Open, and voila, you have it. Why do they have different font styles? When you imported the Microsoft document, it followed the font style in Microsoft document, but then this, when I pasted it here, it followed the settings or the font style of the text box that I created. But I think I like the font style of the Microsoft Word document better. So how you format it, you just simply click this red. When there's a red box here, it means there are still more parts of the text that are not displayed. So when you are finalizing a publication, always look for the red boxes, because it might result to a very, very big accident if you fail to check the red boxes. Imagine just including the first part of the paragraph in the final article. That would be a disaster. Swear. So I'll pull a guideline here so that I know that pantay yung mga para alam ko kung pantay yung mga top dito. Others would like to put a drop cap here. So how do you place a drop cap? You just go to, where is it? You go on type, and then you just, for a drop cap, you just go to paragraph styles and then choose this icon here. If you hover over it, it should say drop cap number of lines. Okay, so this is where you set the number of lines. So I want 3 lines for a drop cap to be noticeable there. And then you may change the font style. Or what is the font style here? Handy Chira. There you go. So you may also set whether you hyphenate or dehyphenate. And I want it to be justified, the alignment. Hey, wait. Okay. Then you make another line here. But if they don't really like to align, sometimes when you want to highlight, sometimes I run out of things to say. And this is how I usually do my job. So there. That's simple InDesign. A simple InDesign layout. So this is now your final product. I pressed W so that the grid lines would disappear and you could get to see the final product or how it would appear on print or the print preview. After this, you want to send this to the press or you want to print it. So how do you print it? I recommend that we save it as a PDF file. And then from there, you can send it through email, you can convert it back into a Microsoft Word document and all. Okay, so how do you do that? You go to File, you go to Export, you set what type of file you would like to export it to, as a JPEG file, as Adobe, or as PDF. So for me, I'll go for Adobe PDF print, and then the file name will remain the same, demo November 1 PDF. I'll just click save. There, high quality, none. So range whether you want to export all the pages or just the single page. And then I think if I have to discuss all of this, it would be another video, so I'll just say just click export. And then check in the output folder if it's there already. So I could see it's there already. And here's the final output as a PDF file. Until next time.